Time mantem. Me no dey enka no dey pass safe. But that be why for fire you small. What's no pay me share me efro.
Me responding to that call. 8:30 kong.
So slide
on the dot. Now me see them.
Slide the any dey say so
na me be boss to boss say na o call ya we call yi.
Nipa me anyway.
Chaman am bedu 9.
Oh shit.
Chaman na me wa ha. And I also
Waba say Oba radio show. Yamau 8:30. Where do 9? Usika park bonkomo. How? But many prime eduman. Atika kwaba.
Chairman jana me juso.
Gambaga for here.
Nyame adom.
Ya da sinu wadaje.
Oh, miss me that's chairman.
Na slide minister yehunu ofi ada on. Hey,
chairman, minister ben.
Hey, that is my deputy information, my sector deputy. What?
Maybe emphasize kan kono.
Oh, Atik.
When him say ejuba no yedimawa na wo say utintim wo office. Yaba fi hakra.
But you
abeye mediator.
Maybe punching is here the jan.
Ya mediator.
Atiku de twem onka say o de ma
any nyama bebre. Na
why a mediator nya daje ko Kenya nka ko wu ahye me. Ka ko wu ahye me.
Eno de sika de mi ko e. Na Saturn no na a very very important and a very good eye opener.
But your man we free.
Yeah, that's it.
Your man we free pa.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey,
yeah, that's it.
Look,
yeah, that's it.
No, but buy and I'm say, hey, Professor Uno number 2.
Oh yeah. And this guy,
wait, yes,
ministers, you know,
say Professor Uno there no, terrorist attack.
Yeah.
But send an idea no con.
Anybody could,
where there me many more? Yeah,
yes,
9 hours at the basement.
9 hours.
Yes. Parliament, yeah, basement, yes.
I said no more to chamber no.
There were.
Na there buy.
Me say yete say ade no fie chire. And you see, sada no omo here say on be demonstration. In the traffic be back room.
Okay.
And they picked us early from the hotel. To Parliament. Omo were 2 chambers.
Okay.
The Senate and the National Assembly. So anopa before the usual time, we were in the Senate.
Okay.
To engage with the Senate. Enti we Senate we no now we sitting at 2 o'clock, so we had to have lunch. Then we are near called the National Assembly. Enti what in it you boom. Now Crawford was the Obama. Now here now a police for air also. But me do hono. Entrance is a call. National Assembly and Senate now with the same premises.
Okay.
So the whole place is deemed to be a security area.
Yeah.
So to begin with, you say now we are safe. And until you do honor, me who thanks them you know. Now say now demonstration targeting Parliament about the financial bill. I thought say they could cordon off the place properly, but there was a security failure. Okay. And they themselves admitted say na enye papa. And now the whole place was so porous. And ye day lunch ni wie ye enti etiti wana protocol guy no say look I will see free enti ye fosro their cafeteria and everything is in there. So ye fosro say kohwe ye hwe say de ade na ba kai ye nim wa no start so mututu no
really
me say maza kwame ye 2 live bullets na nipa resist
kai
na tear gas ni de omufa na na nipa resist. So we were sent from the Senate, from the cafeteria, to go to the National Assembly. Thinking, say, how dear, Maze, no, yes, you are Kolabi di Kofi. They really broke into the Senate, broke into the National Assembly.
I saw MPs running helter-skelter.
No, you couldn't survive.
Report now.
Messi at a point,
helter-skelter.
Running for their dear life.
I'm running for their dear life.
Typical.
They were using ambulance to evacuate some members of Parliament a senior way. Now, ambulance is the people took videos and sent to the demonstrators. It was really bad. I thought security they underestimated the extent of the way now demonstration, because otherwise And I share Bebiana, the vice president, the deputy president office war. And he was airlifted with in a heli because our helipad. So we saw it. So they were airlifted with the helipad, with the heli. And I thought, say, that whole area is a heavy security zone.
Yeah.
Now, OSHA protection, Omudiama installation, no, ne said the microphone buy, no. Now, an because a week before he do now there was one demonstration.
Yes.
And then they were calling for the withdrawal of the, and of course, OSHA financial year that starts in July. And now they had to pass the appropriation and everything. So they were considering time. We consider time. So we never know be the idea. But OSHA the whole thing, there were undercurrents beyond the financial bill.
Absolutely.
Beyond the
it was
financial
just a
bill.
trigger.
Yeah, it was a trigger beyond the financial bill. But I think that once I come engagement is important right from there. But you see that kind of demonstration, there was no leadership.
No,
so it was difficult to even
speak to people.
Who are you and then the coordination, a demonstration of that magnitude without leadership. Now OSHA coordination. Now OSHA professionals then for look, and they knew what they were up to because OSHA demonstrators now among for kutanshio omukuta handkerchiefs because almost a tear gas and you 8 p.m. yeah coffee crano car yetimo tear gas ne wukrum won say nkrofo ajai we ne won say na ewukrum I think it was a very scary moment but unfortunately we share Ghana na man for you it serves you right I mean Kwame, we are all up for criticism. But there's nothing. There is, and then Udu Kenya, they'll pay the price for it.
Oh yeah,
they'll pay the price. So nobody should wish say something like. I mean, Ubetumia criticize, Ubetumia call it for. You can press home your demands, but not to take the law into your whole hands to that extent because they'll pay the price.
No, they will.
Because Sika Musu Winano. And
so people are going to.
Yeah, of course. So I think that democracy, no matter the form of democracy, is better. And then we share Afrobarometer reporter now about 86% of Ghanaians say they express their views through electoral freely. I think that is what we should press home for. Free processes are the best selected leadership and opportunity to press home your demand without taking down anybody's life. And I think say we share baby ana adiane kono na encrofo minim the kind of weapons omo tuma police for na avena police for Johnny. So he had to bring in the armed forces to be able to maintain peace and all that. So I think that it was just an unfortunate incident because Kenya OSHA 2007 after the national elections in Kenya, we over 800 people died. Now they are traveling that. I mean, that is not the only means amount for the Bayawe. And then I'm share Nkrophobia now more. There's the reason why we went to Kenya. Local government committee. Kenya for decentralization. If Ghana for her, and they've gone beyond the decentralization. They do what they call devolution government.
That's what in principle we are supposed to be practicing.
In principle, because we share Adiana Anado Dankwa Kufuado pushes say about elected MMDCs. Yan to me anye. Womu edia call mwenim. And they have what they call the counties. The counties they elect the governors at the counties, and they run the governance at that level. To the extent say, hospital or county, we now recruit staff. Wona security will be owner and there's a national revenue sharing as to the percentage. They are doing about 40% of the national revenue going to the counties, and then we are doing about 5%. So everything is overly centralized in Accra, and then they have systems district and counties are very impoverished. They have equalization fund a committee that sits to look at the parameters. One of the key things they are discussing today is urban poverty. Even though places like Nairobi, they are considering poverty in the urban areas and to give it a way in the formula say they should take care of people in the urban areas. And Accra, it's a deception. There are people living in East Legon and also formula now revenue population the level of education, the parameters.
Still are only satisfied.
Oh yes, they are not.
So it just tells you say Nipa baby.
But I also think that yes, they've seen fault with the way. They think that the political class is taking advantage of the ordinary people. Yes, you can sit down and look.
And any say mamu siren.
But
because musun kamu ya ebi. Obi si mumi and some mamu siren mo banta. Who say sniper so avoid this siren. But obwa. Yes, like
region and Ghana high away. Yeah. Him say Parliament they ba kwe the monument of the 8th Parliament e ba be issue e wo Ghana. But 4 years down the lane. Me call Parliament. I'm on the salary of the 7th Parliament. 7th Parliament salary. And I'm till now. And then when the President set up the committee to review our salaries, now you share from the 2021 to 2024. Juma year. It shouldn't be 8 year ago salary that you should be on. Now more review. So your back pay, the can gratuity now oma be budding say what GS grass then we become ridicule of public sub region every part of Africa salary ayeji and Amanfo has a reason to complain about it justifiably so because we share teacher ni we share other workers now the tutu ho feel say odi no so but all the tutu ebi ho a maza ebi didi papa but ni nyina no me dey say who concerns are there's always a room for you to express it to air your concerns and dey we na democracy important ebi wo na nipa na ade na oka no kra no onti ase but tie no have opportunity. The principles of our democracy, it enshrines in underpins our democracy. Say, nipa bia wo kwanya say otumi kana asem say eto asomo and say ento asomo no o so nya kwanya na oka say wonsu na who implementing policy and say who formulating policies no that look me tie President Ruto
yeah
about the state of the Kenyan economy and then a car a woho and how should they continue to borrow. These are his concerns. Oshe said ye omusika sem esiko. Niama omuahihye se omubeye. Womo anye biribi amfa omusika sem anhye omunsemu a. The next 2 years, womo economy never crash. And onunu baby oti no or more information perhaps of than course. Other people. And enuna all can say look, enuanum we can't continue to borrow to fund our development. And was say yes meet no at a certain threshold halfway and sign up because one year now will call about 90% borrowing to fund your development. Baby, it's not sustainable. A cannot be minimal to the extent of work or Jibosia now the ababi tia eka. So baby no you only be servicing your debt without infrastructure. Yeah. And no money nyama na all can say and then Oma initiated a lot of things to the extent say Kenya are developing say they are building chips ICT. When we building resilient parks, now they are creating jobs among youth. Now what to contribute to the economy. These are things developed countries will not fund it for you. Yeah. You must be bold to raise your own revenue to take up the challenge and fund these activities. The same situation. You have a country over 32 million population, 2.8 million people, and it's your direct taxes. The rest has to resort to indirect taxes. And the ebape nedi. But and also should not stop us from engaging, listening to people, experts in the field. But and then Obia is skewed one way or the other. And the elections were baseya na akoye bibia ewoho. And the issues in the Mazagami, Kenya was an eye opener. Yeah. And I think say mebo Ghana mebuno abaso in the face of everything. Ushe niama eshenkrofo ebufu na de ade. People still have patience. For 30 years running, we have a stable democracy. Among for a believe say in the ballot box. I think it's a very commendable idea. The youth of this country. One more Mushe say calling for Kenya no. They should bow down their heads in shame. It's not the best way to go as a country. We should encourage discourse, public discourse. We should ensure that people can make demands fairly and ensure say abans who responsibilities a church and say more actually Ghana for to me developing a democracy and for that matter developing. Master Kwame,
yes sir.
The initial comment is my newly appointed vice chairman of the finance committee, Carlos Ahinkra, or any birthday. Hey, and our party won in office or parliament.
Hey, what kuno? Because one else who ahead because
no, and then Juma, and then Juma Nkwa, over our parties who conquer Uhuno, and then Ochina, and then Tanasika crowd parliament, the vice chairman of the finance committee. Member Patrick Bama Abaso is a newly.
New chairman of the
finance committee of parliament. I've been made a member of the committee. Inti me enra yeshe ejuma se ejuma bebre wo ho. Inti Carlos uko parliament na kra hu no oye ejuma.
So the baby oberi kakra because of China oda. Inti happy birthday in advance, Carlos. Very best wishes to you. Professor Sapo Mbashi.
Yes sir, Chairman General.
Na say yesu hu ya hu. Because say answer now bekono okay so ye adwuma bi o menhia south and now the tuja say nhwehwe mu a waye no na je bafo awua will benya more than not less than 70%. Onya 71 point bibi
71.5
baby 80 money adwuma.
Yes sir,
adwuma ya yedi watem ye but interestingly no wedwuma ya bi ene ye de hwehwe niam ekoso anope ye hwe Afrobarometer report yes Ghana's democracy no when anim 86% of voters say they exercise franchise in freedom. Just obia antiti obia haum na yes So report research here. Yes, Fitch. So the abetu just say NDC is likely to win the elections in 2024, and also another one. Now, in the meantime, campaign also. Mahama is here, Baumia is there, Napo is here, Nana Jane is there. These are the front runners. Of course, Cheda Nemu, Alan Tremanti Nemu. So me find say outliers and outsiders now. The true a lot of public attention here. Alan Tremanti and Nana Kwame Bediakon in California. Sheda and Tiomonka.
Congress.
Oh, because PNC CPP nya de be there'll be also runs into I mean this social so far is 4 or 5 months to an election.
We want to be frank
straight to the point. Dr. Baumia ne former President Mahama Oshe Sabi kitten na so far Alan Tremanti and each other apart from that until be
to the list.
Oh, I said munya visibility.
Oh, you mean visibility?
Visibility, yes.
Not content.
Minkan she. Okay, minkan chi. Oma yeti omonka. Oma yeti omonka.
La yeti omo adverse.
Ebi munsu ni visibility ni content.
Eni she. Oma yeti omonka na minka omo asem. And when you know so meba. Yeah, I'll come to you. Don't worry. Imani invites Baumia Mahama for a debate. Ebi a debate no who here. Ebi who here. Well, whatever it is, and then. John Mahama Kache Baumia said he should focus on reviving the economy, not making empty campaign promises. Dr. Baumia Kache Police Force keep protecting Ghana's democratic gains. Ghana Armed Forces led by CDS Lieutenant General Thomas Opompi Praso saying will act professionally to ensure peace and stability. So far, in common, about to no in common. But I think so Kenya after that member also Prof. Now meet you I think
Chairman, just quickly, Nedi Kaima, Slide, whoever, and all those who went with him to Kenya. Chairman, this one, it was Yanda Yamias said, Omutimi by fee without any incident.
Yeah.
Now, Chairman, look, Nientia, Kenya, and for which reason now, man, for Ghana, it was spontaneous. And yes, sir, a bimunatina said want to lead the demonstration.
It was a bit planned. The spontaneity no by as a gather momentum.
Yeah.
Ain't it?
Well,
Not on my plan is on be a demonstration.
Then
But
I agree.
yeah.
I agree. But the way I could do, you know, it became a more force. There was no leadership now, and people were even willing even to participate in the face of bullets and the rest.
Let me share this quickly. I think maybe sir Abayowa Bia only now of Parliament Service Parliamentary Service Board on protocol. And I'm saying Adena route to say emranti no emra forward. Only problem amunya ye. Omo si obi a ode ni beko bi oba o meka omo hu bi nti omo pese obi a
Yeah, be compromising.
No, chairman, you can't compromise. You be motivated.
Yeah, motivation.
Oh, so it tells you said when the youth are disillusioned and it gets to a certain point, chairman, me dey be amika patience will elasticity until we stretching into that limit now. And even though Yambompa say BBC ABC Ghana, but we need to be guided by Niesi Kenya. No, I said some of these things can happen anywhere, any day. And we tend to think say, oh, the electorate need there because you pay peace and stability in there, and in the name of democracy, no, and our cover is that look, democracy. The most sustainable democracy is that which is able to take care of, which is able to improve the welfare of the citizens. And democracy is not a construct that operates in a vacuum. There are foundations be upon which I building kabinami. Why would I surrender my freedoms to a bigger entity called government? Because me jidi say ombe show me so ombe yen yebe buame ama mi welfare koenim. That's I do all that. I pay my taxes. I lose my freedoms in as if for now at the end of the day. Near ye person mu ye mine or munye, and we see Brofwa Yetaka Okrum. I can say how did they say? Be vulgar display of opulence. Amongst the political elite now. A idea a hard. And Ruto, I think he means well, and like I know. Look, you can't develop only on the back of borrowing. There's a limit to what you can do with borrowing. At Drusa level, it becomes deleterious to your growth. It becomes dangerous. He's a tough-talking president. And it's going to be our colleagues on the other side of the world. You know, if you are a tough-talking president, you know, encouraging Africa for a bit my year, we can do it as for the most part, you become a target. Because if you do that and if you continue doing that, now again momentum, one year near omon pese no enubi nebeba. So it's easy to single you out and just crash you. And it's that demonstration I cause with chairman. Like he said, there are undercurrents. The trigger might have been sad demonstration, financial bill, but
your remote and immediate causes.
Latent and proximate.
But only Bibi Raila Odinga.
Yeah.
So opposition leader.
Rainbow coalition.
Yeah, but assembly that was attributed to him.
Yeah.
I found very interesting, especially because of Nyauka Sisi say ebi wo opposition wo ha BBC no na eyo mode no mususum. But Raila ke bibi me who baby, but to be so they are sending me not paying. I'll quote him.
Yeah.
So I'm quoting what Raila said about this thing. Very interesting for somebody in opposition. Yeah. Or say Ruto goes, then what? Ruto may go, then Gachagua takes over,
the vice president,
implementing bad policies. Ruto can also say, quote, I am tired. Let the military generals take over. Then the country begins to go through what Egypt went through after Tahrir Square. Ruto must go, cannot be an end. It's a time of crisis. It's at times of crisis like this that the country needs to talk. That's like I say, engagement. We are not doing it to save Ruto. We're doing it to save Kenya.
Yeah. No,
very interesting.
You know, yes. Until me, when I said the undercurrents, I was not even referring to the opposition politicians. Me external forces. What is here?
Yeah.
And they are always in our business. Because Ruto Wowe, Mr. Ruto, Raila Odinga Wowe, or a politician.
Yeah.
He Wakwa Oni Uhuru Kenyatta, he has fought severally. And in fact, I think even started with Mwai Kibaki, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
Well, and Uhuru Baye, now Uhuru, you know, to the extent that Uhuru even supported, but still, I am fat. Until Obisa and Anka, you would expect say he would be excited. But him say, if you Mudi ye Rutua, me ba, sa na Mudi be yami. Now at the end of the day, he sounded like a nationalist. Me pese me be president for the fun of it, but me pese me buwa me in Kenya. And this Obiaba, and he's taking the tough decisions. Then ye ni we should not all be excited. Until I think a idea yenina yesu ya different. You're paying for more kroma. And chairman, maybe I'll talk about this issue of land, the way a man for people are now taking advantage of Neokosi to even scam the government. People are now taking advantage of Neokosi to scam the government. Okay, the demolition of Nigerian High Commission.
Yeah.
Chairman scam kesia abeda hunu.
Say yen yama ho kwan.
But Yabeka wasem. Until when you that gets the citizenry sometimes a bit.
Minya Bakusimen Kancho says several is not the same as several times. Stop mixing them.
Oh, Martin. Several times. Me that's it.
You, that's it. We live and learn every day. Yeah.
So is the antenna. When I'm called to appear here, I get excited because Chairman,
that is why you
should share opinions, but I come to learn.
That's why you should be here on time.
I thought Chairman would spend it, but he immediately went for it. But anyway,
let me shout out to my brother Von Bakustein, wherever you are. Good morning to you, bro.
Oh, German.
He's a very, 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 very Ghanaian man from the Volta region of the Republic of Ghana. Klaus von Bakustein.
Like everything German.
And who say Evers German for training?
Yeah, no.
Until Obi said you're fairly German, you just say German brony. Omunya German din. Into German you.
Okay, German.
But talk a German you. Or ever ni but a German you. Into Klaus von Bakustein.
He spoke about the concept of decentralization. There are three forms.
One has open embryo.
Just quickly. One says you complain about rules. Chairman, these are some of the responsibilities we can devolve to the lower units. Because Mimi area has a rules na Ministry of Roads. But MC na or na assembly no, they know which roads are priority roads. But what we have done is that in principle, we are supposed to be practicing devolution, but in practice, it's deconcentration. And our delegation
I like that.
To even say, the human can count until you are unable to do the things I saw to me as a local assembly. Until we meet when we begin electing, you can say, DCs, MCs now. We also need to make sure we reduce the over-centralization of Abenye Juma at the center. Say you see we say call lower units and this idea of having shared budget is very, very important. They call it fiscal decentralization. Chairman, we need to make sure Argentina say local government and decentralization.
Interesting. Here's a man who says he wants to discuss other issues.
Chairman,
dovetailing his conversation into other matters.
On that note,
and several times confusing me this morning.
On that
note, well, time check 2 minutes past 10. Peace 104.3. Kokrokoo Jime Dienuni. Ora Dennis Educhum. Baby, I will be anopei Sami Ewuku of NLA Simi Fenchia Kesie Emma Ura Dennis Educhum or Simi Kasa Semia wa Obetia Sie. Na Prof, kwe nimuno. Fitch anyway Juma Afro Barometer Juma campaign saying, and then let me also say congratulations again on Menchia South. You got it right again. And main council say Naneje Bafwe wa Edru no so am bias kaka. Who declare standard o can no be hu baby original. Nti time I catch him say obi some man can chiro. But I catch him so we didn't kunam. But now a jana me wait and see. Na neje bafo you be minim ne pa.
Oh wow.
Eti ode buy now say not less than 70% see ready that's you. But that mean to me nka. Tikra na about 60 kra still our win. Yeah, miss you. Yeah, that's it. This one says protests in Kenya have historically been led by elite, often ending in power sharing deals that yielded few tangible benefits for demonstrators and protesters. They now face the challenge of maintaining unity and momentum while pursuing broader, less immediate goals. From JC Buako Nadia Nobai. Yes, Prof.
Yes, sir. Chairman General, Medawasi.
Medasi.
Take one Bako, Reverend Ernest Odame Asari.
Reverend Ernest Odame Asari.
Yes, Presbyterian Church of Ghana District Minister, Tech District, KNUST Kumasi. Nrechi na ye ni birthday. Papa.
Ni trinkwa.
Radinsha no nkoso anom.
Amen.
Na koso aye jama ye nyina sene oye ne da no. KSTU at 70 and Rayepa Hontuma.
Hey, and but your first mistake. Openye je kum say yempa hontuma.
Hey, sorry.
Ye da na di.
Ye da.
Also opa bibi hontuma is exposed.
I see.
But you want to say inaugurate. Aha. Muda na di.
Prof, where the student. PhD student.
In fact, Ninti amesi me first mistake and say why name oboche? Dr. Kwame Adokufo.
Yeah. Or your council or your chancellor.
Hey, on your butcher, chancellor.
Or your chancellor
of KST.
Council chair.
Okay.
Professor Dr. Med Ben Bafu Bonnie. Wow.
I'm not for being a shit.
Now video had
Just say what being a shit.
Now
Professor Doctor Med medical doctor.
Yeah. One fancy moi.
Asem. Nenti ameka say my say
yeah.
Opanyin Kwame Adokufo.
Yes.
So say they twem no di 84.
84.
Wow. Yeah, Charlie time flies.
Yeah.
Adokufo is 84 years old.
Yes.
Inti ofre me joada. And also to say me ye no hu dey with radio so na one ti but o kumase. Ba nenkrofo friend ka chen inti ofre me Adamas. Na mum or mama adwuma ye. KSTU be di 70 years.
Yeah.
And as chancellor no Kumasi.
Yes.
Enti me mo dede.
Yes.
KSTU no yeah.
Kumasi Technical
University.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm refi. Enti wo kanu me ye hwemu nchini.
Afi na ya danadi.
Aha.
Afi na main activities no year marked ebe April 2025. Enti ebre wom nyame adomo aye the details no beba brano na your legacy project pa ye pese ye brand so a Ghana for mo a nyame atomo nsem meboa ye university health facility.
Okay.
You can call it university hospital or university health center. In fact, university ni nyini apart from see nyini ne kura no so no ye boy homodin see you know all universities in Ghana oshisha ye to so nso all those you know enti ye ku krumponi na brakwa me say yeswa Ghana ha be compete pa technical universities in there for several years running we have topped as the best technical university in Ghana.
Great.
You keep it to your mandate ye na betima na stress Brenson so amemeboa yen it will not cost much ye was asase na da koja ache hina da Roma wa ma ya asase be ka niaka me sure say school pen for the details ne be ba na ya identify key individuals no bia asebe odo adesua no do apomuden ho nsem na wa beboa yen ma get me as a legacy project no e dey share ye nyina ye ho anyonyam ne nyame di anyonyam. The last one brakwame me guso awo UK academic visits me call 3 universities for UK ni mu ana nyame to nsa frɛ me ma bi.
Oh
yeah, Fiansoni is gone. Yeah.
Onya fie saying.
Onya 75.
Yeah, Danyamiasi.
Yeah.
Yeah, my shed, yeah, my audience.
Wabre, o deserve the rest.
Amen.
O deserve the rest. Nti nyame mfa ne krensi.
Amen.
Breno so a nhyehyɛ bi wɔ ho bia nso no.
Yeah, di wechi din. But Sly, okay, be about time a helicopter and a chopper and a heli befa vice president. Apparently, Kenyan politicians, that's their status symbol. Baby watch helicopters.
Yes, but you see,
and ekaho na omuye.
Yeah.
Yes, be 2, 3.
Yeah, the TNC
say Ghana ha. Obehwe na say president the president helicopter vice president Barbara chief justice will be speaker will be majority leader minority leader will be Alachemati will be Cheddar will be we will okay, I'm just reading a report right now. I'll say 1 in 6 Kenyan politicians owns a helicopter.
Yeah, it's true. And my research
into vulgar display of opulence. Look,
Maza Kwame.
Yes.
Uko and medika can be said the youth and as citizens think say the political class Kenya sika ewo and businesses and most of their politicians businessmen as it were.
Yeah.
No credit. Baby ana mijina no parliament ho omuni helipad ewo. So the helipad the office of the deputy president. Okay. And so it could be. I've also read and know at least meaning 2 of them who personally confided in me said Omuo Okache me say ni business and so Oba city etume de neba. Uko from Mombasa to Nairobi. It's about 8 hours.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yes, Emuchi. And the also na tourism no. So a business for most of them.
In terms of the business.
I mean, 2 of them who spoke to me, catch me. Michelle Bakun was Uganda. You call conference was Uganda, and only me didn't come. And I'm saying, no, I had it. Not even the president.
President
no, too. But they want the tourism business because of a lifting crop and they are really promoting tourism.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Kenya.
And then another thing, Kenyan politicians announced that the elite farming.
Yeah.
Omuye fupa.
Omani Cote d'Ivoire.
Inti obi or Nairobi na ni farms be say aha call
Burkina Tampo. Yeah.
And they say omuwa eboa to them and maza Kwame and they will share amount for driving cars with chroma ne board this hell no.
That's true.
Amount for driving cars and former ne board this hell.
That's true.
My call baby my investigation. Amount for driving cars ne board ding as in heli. Enti
Enchebia meto heli.
General.
Now me dey abon CG1. Now me nam sro.
Obi ko in fact border so. Obi ko yape, obi ko baby. Enya de bia na obenya commercial flight.
That's true.
It could even be a taxi for people and
who want to charter.
Obi timi ko yebe 4 in a day. Now we that's a heli wo they rent it, they charter it.
Yeah, but because of our background.
Yes, largely.
So okay, you could to heli see
no. What's that called radio talk?
Miniska Muska oh, Muska
no, Thomas General.
Only business.
Of course.
Business. And honestly, Odima Air Force for.
Yes,
every month be a Monty Misika, more charge.
You are training Kalabi Krum. You're training Kalabi.
But me, they become my bias. Me remember Ghana Air Force.
For me, every country, any idea. Me see Crawford driving cars and board they say heli.
That's true. Prof, yes, say Kwame Dinka Bob car 5,000. Where there's some pine me and I catch it. Yes, say Otio baby Adrian.
Oh, by our own. Thomas General and Cover Walker. Or no, yeah. Or say,
but maybe it's MC Ajuma and you're better. And Uncle Voch is a public speaking a joke. Now also raises car. Nti also hwe mu
Oh man, very
That's
simple.
hey, na say me
Somebody news also when the one who crank.
And asema me didi agree no sampan dey about say I beg don't buy any helio. This your small car safe. See how they insult you. In our country, it is envy, hatred, and jealousy.
All combined.
Envy, hatred, and jealousy. That's what we do. Be careful of Agric in Kenya. The Arabs, Saudi, Qatar, etc. They are buying land to grow food solely for their respective countries. This is part of the problem for the youth. Okay. So the Agric in Kenya is not necessarily theirs. Enti obi na dia send this yes a problem no.
I was there for a regional conference by Ideas some years ago. Omo region my own friend Naivasha. It's in the Rift Valley region. Chairman, what I noticed was that Sebu William Semka nahi fui. Oni mkrova every woman nahi.
Mimi nimpo
India phone number.
Indians. Okay.
Chairman, omo doso ho papa. Nti our economy, to some extent, is controlled by some microphone. So it's just like the South African situation, but in a limited sense. Say you were your mind, but the commanding heights of the economy, are controlled by microphone, who literally speaking are not Kenyans. Idea and also come.
Now, revenue bill no, which copy. Now, ordinary people on the street. Adia omu dwakra ne bread. Yes, obi abeka asem na. Oh, say wa kan yo kan yo say you two bread mo no pack. Obi a hotel la yeda obi a obehia no say we come baby so we try to get that
of course
views into meaning crowd kasana. Just say obi at the first thing bro what's the Ghana
the bread and butter issues.
Ghana any bread.
Yeah. Ni abedi bread can even rice is served with bread.
This one says, Kwame, good morning. The Fitch findings is not exactly different from what Professor Smart Sapon's research put out, for which we nearly ate him up in this country. Smart Sapon says NDC is popular than the MPP. Fitch didn't say John Mahama is going to win. He said NDC is likely. Meaning NDC is popular than MPP. Kwame Jiasante. Kwame is the reason why I want to start with Smart Sapon, because I know that this is his area of expertise. Smart, yes,
Chairman General, in fact, Kwame Mame Nebo Nabasu Mame. That's the first point I want everybody to draw his attention.
Oh, I see. Kwame Jiasante Diano.
Nti Kwame aka. Ye kan ade ya mo men kan ne ye. Enya sa usually mo be ma we may be gullible. Because Nancy, one more kind, the gods are not to blame. There some storybooks are is no. Yes, or the soon refie. And why no be answer started soon be.
How many minutes you also?
Debbie. In fact, Obi ni pa ni bon komo o mom wefu nkrase no. One story am kan or ni pa ni kasa ye just about few minutes after na ohwo free kura na se baye. Say ejada wo kokko afuo mo hye. Ehwa ye no so start soon na me den. And so the person who manages your farm just ended the call with you. Wow, any bad news? Until we don't pause to reflect over things, we just get carried along. Until Mobian kind face report in the year. As for NDC likely to win, okay. You don't even need a research to say that.
Yeah.
Nearby strange. If somebody says Ghana Freedom Movement is likely to win, no dear. Nah, so Kokope. Sounds now if any study comes and say MPP is likely to win.
Yeah.
How is this one discovery? Yeah. So enti ehona face for no eka, and it is something that yenina yenim say enei yekoto aba no a ebeyete frahe ase. Is either MPP will win or NDC will win. Make meaning say menya call from papa penny bi pa ho. Na den na ye ka onka say share ye call ha no obon homoden pa ni ade obi amon homoden ye nya crank obi fufuro kra na eni nkunim, but the reality ye be kind of prepare parties akese menu na hye omuniema yi a one of them is likely to win. That's my first comment. Kwame I this text message by wabo me pa. Na that is it. The second point I'm person can say Brakwame.
Yes.
Mama, yeah, let us not over rely. I'm not saying obi omunte ma sebeka say bia me say me obi nye face ni na ada abonten so for mo de reports bafa Ghana ho no. But nyame can say mema mo ma ye mfa ye ho nto omo so bebre because sometimes e bia na you see geopolitics no is such that obi ane ni interest even over your country. Inteto de bia o betimi akika kan say bia na fe on the bond market no.
Omani ni
omode ya omo kamwegum ana bibi enye sana ene die me pache bampa say let's strengthen your local research institutions no. Let's strengthen because me field na me career researcher. I go there as a Ghanaian already familiar with the environment. Me name kwanya fetch beti mi ababeye research o Ghana ha. Na wate Ghana assessing me amete Ghana nim. Me wo sincerity analysis bi aya me tire won chen no de no me secret beyond everything that everybody can do. That is the last thing I do.
Okay.
And no na me de measure where I should put my likely percentage. So that when I say it's not going to be below 70%, I think I know why
exactly what you're talking about.
I say that. I am not sure say obi ba be ya dia fa my home along with so many other countries obenya sa ada je na ma ni ade. I'm not saying say omu kan near wrong. It is a likelihood of the possible outcome in December. Anye MPP be NDC with all due respect to the other smaller parties. But nyame can say yeje afoforo no mufra bonten ba ye de ni tumu aye discuss no. Momo yenso yenwene senia ye beboa na yenso Ghana ha research institutions and individuals be to say yenom ne ebinum amuni ni momo no. How do we empower them, partner them, form a very strong one for ourselves? Now chine bi yenso yetimi aye bi o Ghana ha na compete with faith ne omo aka no a omo de ba no. Enye sa dia na say bibi afira brochire ba bia ye. Yet ho yen strengthen ye de ba pe na etutu ne se ne abasa. We leave the substance and we talk about how beautiful or non-beautiful the person is near the. I say yes, I am as your economy ni nyina say because broni de ye nyene ho mi enukra ne afa.
There's a broni na kai nti. Report na am pese me hu methodology as usual. Me hu ye into headlines no na ye discuss yi. Enye sa anka me pe full report. My background, na my methods, na my results and a discussion of the results ne conclusions. Yeah, media me ye bia me nya adagye yes I report no. Eno kra no amanfo ka ho asem. Eventually when it is confirmed, obi ampo me ka say oh sorry. Na ye say nti na ebufu ni ade. Amanfo di omdi ba no just the headline. This one for example was a comment from a representative of faith. And but how people have accepted but how may because so research in your main field. Yeah.
And this is not how research reports are presented to gain a national discussion. No. Unless say will be what full report no a discussing methodology in details and all those things and that is fine. But I followed it very well. And it's been a report. It's worthy of discussion, yes, because of a track record. But
say interestingly, in 2016, Fitch said Nana Adobe will win the election, but there will be a rerun.
But eventually,
there was no rerun.
No rerun. Tina may draw a mind for Najunesis to say, let us not run away with anything that comes from a white-colored man.
You've research and that forms out.
Media, that is another point I want to mean who full report and I think people who are discussing it qualifies to discuss it. But media me who full report now I can subject methodology to among for be media ejuma ba kwa me ye say obi ye research career especially international organizations they can call on me to say Kokrokoo certify say data way accurate and accurate. If I see their methodology and I see their data, I can maybe for myself certify say at the end everybody levels doctor say book olebu sebe say you medical school into munyina yepe why you have specialists and other category higher then obi an bibi kitu ebi oba tricky wo ho solution ne beba enti that but the overall effect ne say this is another information about system nim. Political parties and opinion media interviews nibi. Obi so me invite you for swearing in. 7 attorney white. Then the representatives, proper representatives of the parties. Now, I find to say the win has come.
Yeah.
Into you are invited hereby herein whereof invited to. It's fun. The other side, so Dennis, Adom and other stations, maybe. No, so both defense, no attack defense, but Mestre, my advice, ma, no. NPP, and as I've been finding this in any kind of NDC. You see, the formula for opposition parties, WPP, others can call it FPP. I'm saying this as a political coach. W na befa a weakness, so befa an F so a failure.
Okay.
And a PP no a response and then promises. Inti failures of the government. And I say weaknesses of the government more. Now what pushing in the second P is the propaganda and the third one is the promise. So failure, propaganda, promise. And the opposition for formula. If they know, fine. If they don't know, they can adapt. Failure are not the end more. In fact, if we MPP now expect to say this in the cancer and paper be a far by who forget it. In see. And then now for credit to him and I don't mean I'm for credit to my own. In quote, Mr. Mo. And you will come in. Do you get it? I don't expect you to do that. I will not do that. If I'm giving 10 minutes on any platform, forget it. Unya 1 second the crime film.
Of course.
Into failure or weakness is no hammer. The next thing they put in is propaganda. Propaganda nya de bone. Mestre is a name how we have used it in the past. In baby be politics because be a propaganda 1 or 2 be. Omu jatuma obe you one way no. Now I late when you cry no be nipa mienu and say bia you be convince you by that. It's accepted. The game now here kono pinedu kakra wom, so people should welcome propaganda and it is the duty of the opposition to do that. Now if you the promises aka ho. We are government in power. Also there no your friend ARP. You spend more of your time on your achievements. Then you respond to the propaganda and then you promise ARP. So achievements,
response
and then promise.
Promise
ne me way into ye kwa enim no. Say na pesa me. Na me hu ne say number 1 NDC should not be complacent. Ma kan and I'm not sure say ebi na ye for fun and na penina meeting na no pe na o ka say we inviting Kokrokoo to January 7th swearing in Independence Square ata white. Ebi na ye for fun. But utie the national chairman of the NDC Brebi Echemo Beka say amount for instead of some Beko so akwakoye campaign omu che positions. Mestre, it is not a smart one at all. Enye smart one at all. Muma mweni na ho na nipa adwene sesa. Faith enye nyame. Faith is not talking about what is going to happen in future or use probability, likelihood, then what it means is that then number 2 pa hiyama NDC so mutia apart from not being complacent no. Before Ghanaian will go and vote biano, and if you study the trend, maybe 92 no me didn't follow, but from positive change 2000, a day bad year. Challenge now Jeremy making a vivid analysis of how things went. Niomuhia power to win December 2024. A solution to Ghana's problems. And how well they are able to exaggerate or communicate our challenge today. Solutions no any more. And they so say Dr. Mahmoud Baumia Juma Yasanko to fix the economy. Or no chairman of the economic management team. Or no man in the economy number for more. What is your solution? Is it in Professor Gina no Pogwajima? Do you get it? If an economist put at the economic management team has failed, are you assuring us that when the English professor is put as the head of economic I don't do politics. I mean what I'm saying. I'm saying they should do that. They should actually assure solutions. And so mutimika we make and then the but yen osumesi ni obente because we dad nipa the bedjuma no. It doesn't have to be Madam Jane na no poko adjuma necessarily unless they want to say vice president nti chenchena on no ha. Say you know dey compare the two and tell me say this one will give us a better solution. And yes, remember name we were chira. Remember those times when the MPP was talking? No more about waiting a Greek. No more about waiting for say waiting. Yeah, begin to fix those things. Na many paninya regime say, we will leave the economy will be left in safe hands when we vote for Adi. No. They shouldn't simply think say the win is just going to come because polls are saying so. Number 3, last one to the NDC, say elections, the national one, and the localized ones, constituencies. Masema mekaya na chineba I still stand by it because I do my research with all sincerity. I mean, for bias is behind research. Me say, the party at the various grassroots appeared popular than the candidature of Adi. My advice was, my recommendation, and say, now they should carry their presidential candidate along. They should carry each other along. But man, the case I was here, a certain constituency will rate NDC candidates as maybe 70%, and then the candidature of the
flag bearer
as 35%. I have data. I called on people who are interested to come for. Maybe who send them a mail. I can send you whatever they will discuss. They should carry each other along. That is going to be my theory because the general look will be there, but at the end of the day, no brakwame, yebeki can near free sia hona bano and never boom. That national. So they should focus on the down there. MPP 4 na me fam anunsi. Omunso mu de ne results ne ba sa no a. You say 5 months more to the election day. Anti enema miensa pe. When you unite, you see in unity lies strength. In kabom. Omutimi ka omhu bom a. Hey, in kabom no, ebe motimi aye nema bebre even in one day. Say enkosi say ben 5 months, 4 months, 3 months. Na munya any serious attempt be towards unity. These things being predicted will come through. I'm not being a prophet of doom, but you need unity. Number 1, government in power biano. Key are you to retaining power? Unity because sabe who needs to there no be any now so opposition you know so atwen ope and so a fact and so say government be no more bebe more betim so satisfy obia you see the trick you must admit say you obia na satisfied and find a way to still bring the hungry and the fed together. And easy task, but they need to do it if they want to maintain power. The second thing, Brakwame, communication. Entimi mase
article class to
Brakwame entimi mase aban bi betene kunya so for 4 years, not to talk of 8 years. Onyeshi. But send a kind of opposition for there, and I think they are even not doing it to my satisfaction as a political coach. Your duty as the party in government is to put up communication channels everywhere. No, now also can't also modern wabo
comedy voice.
Community made the boys out to the stand say nafe unya obi akra na wakasa. So the end the bed dominate. Failure na the other side ne trumpet no and the dominate. And yes sir, and can me am attention kra no anya hwe kra no national health insurance under Miami New Bernardo boy ebinom di kan buy accepted. But who share the magic within the short time one ye nyina ye nua okoboy ba ho ne ade a strengthen our working. And they also Dr. Abajida Costa so near the news that they put out there is good. Ebema because nema ye here your pomuden or shelter or then mu trumpet successes in health. Agenda 111 minim baby stage na kodu. But by this time communication should be able to telling us to be able to come out say you do her. We say we and it should be daily something no nyese bia o press conference na kan 171 ye wie one trumpet man for no rebefi free SHS. In fact my research am here no na se wo fa education as an indicator na Ghana for dodo no. I spoke to 60,000 people if you remember in my report. The indicator called education was the only indicator na Ghana for ni MPP about any problem. I mean, with the highest percentage.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%, 100%. But education as an indicator alone was the single highest indicator. What do you know to who na MPP was winning big. About economy, job creation, you know, baby, I know. But for education, as an indicator, I don't know how well they know all these things and how they are capitalized and I say riding on it in their campaign. Me who said no bias actual baby or social media say the free SHS and education achievements have been overused into going into 2024. It will not make any impact. I disagree.
Yeah, I saw it.
I disagree based on the data before me. The cow if it is say when you take the indicator called education, it was the only indicator na MPP winning landslide. And so that's why we are interested in research now. That make us say me throw challenge so we hear information crowd. I don't know how many people. Nobody even contacted me largely.
Really?
Apart from Bakumi Nubia, phone call, then they cost my constituency. But say at the national level, then they how well do they know these things and how are they using it to their benefit? Because still, a man for being for say free SHS ne other impact the educational sector no aye ni ade needs to be sustained. How well do they know? Strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats analysis. Who your party and government are who here. Ninaka communication no na make no. Into communication na man for say it just means honorable slide should be here every morning. Then Chama goes beyond that.
SWOT analysis.
They need to do it and it must feature in their communication. Now, last one, they should look at things that they can do and get it done. I call them low-hanging fruits. A man for being no more be na bridge be near. Then you feel now any gargantuan project be say D&D. To see a target and nature say a name I had Ghana for, especially searching who feel a crack a crabia. Roads, rural roads, and come here as fast and then Mumpe great the be earth moving and man be Munchu Ghana for a some mom. A Piafonia baby, you do money no by fan then. My second issue electricity extension. Hey, petty things, telecommunication network, renovation of deployable schools. These are for me the top 4 low-hanging fruits that the people down there until na magic be a mama 110 inflation currently 20 to a 15 or single digits. Na magic be a exchange rate then went in. These low-hanging fruits can be done and must be done unless the information is not known to the people managing the party in power. Enti Rakame, research nebeba, ye as for the 2 parties, any of them is likely to win. I still insist that election 2024 you're very open. And all research I bano and the deal is done. Muti research I munti ni onka the deal is done. You talk about you be estimated the actual from the predicted. Fates Korea and the case 2016 there will be a runoff. The actual was that there was no runoff. In fact, the win was beyond that which could go near runoff. 1 million votes near the enye. Enti omuye sanya yi nyina ye we are eba be head but ye nya nu ya ye nto abai nipa adwene timi sesa. Enti NDC do not be over complacent. Monhwe so na munya adwuma. Me say mo bash na identification of weaknesses in this government. And for me, it's not in the level power of power nim. I'm telling you,
it's below optimal.
And power nim I take because chairman say must take chair positions. You lose focus even in a day, and you laugh at the wrong side of your mouth.
I agree absolutely.
Samuel Brian Boabing says, I've been actively involved in campaigns and elections. I don't dismiss polls at all, even if they come from a man on the streets. In 2016, Fitch predicted the MPP could only win through a rerun. However, there was no rerun thanks to our hard work. We in the NPP are not complacent, which is why our flag bearer Baumia, Ranimid Napo are tirelessly campaigning. Let's all join hands. Baumia Napo Baupo. Semika Baupo. Inti Baupo. Sama Brian Boabing. Kwame, thank Professor Smatsapon for us. We MPP communicators come the boys. Lampard, a man from in Kumasi. And then Odishi Ajabing in Hacho, researchers are subject to margins of error because they are based on probabilities. Things are not always equal, says so. This poll must be taken seriously by the NPP. Whether foreign or local, the environment could reflect the polls. I urge the party to be more focused. Don't debunk the polls. Gasti man in Brekum. Professor Smart Sapon is talking about the marriage of Anansewa by the immortal Ifwa Sutherland. George Ananse was lying about a bushfire in his hometown, Nanka. Interestingly, his family swallowed it hook, line, and sinker without subjecting it to any scrutiny. Donald, Moba 2001, sends that one. Kwame, we like our democracy very much, but our leaders must not lose sight of the fact that there's a limit beyond which the camel's back will be broken. Life has become unbearable in Ghana. Kwejo Owusu in Ablekuma sends that one in. Peace 104.3 year to aye jume dieno sono and a police opinion be awoda. Now this one goes out again to you. It says birthday blessings to Commissioner of Police Michael Nananketia Frimpong, aka Paymaster, Director General Finance at the National Police Headquarters, COP Michael Nananketia Frimpong Esquire, is from your daughter Cynthia Obeng of Cowbank Circle Branch, or Sinyamin Shell Bebre, and then it then Sly Brimwen.
Master Kwame.
Yes, sir.
Danyamiase na media.
Hey, yes, see. Yeah, the information be able yes, person to helicopter. Yeah, they are bringing the prices. Robinson R22, $250,000. Bam. Share. That's me. Augusta Westland AW109, $9 million. Sajawa. Ain't he? Say, me got to him. Me per bell. Yes, a Bell 206 Jet Ranger 700,000. Chai. Hey. I think $250,000 a thought than you. Yes, sir.
Apartment and grow for.
Thank you.
Can't to me now. They are $1.5 million.
It's $250,000.
Master Kwame.
Yeah.
Na Meda Prof. Ase. In fact, we're dealing with the issues very well, and most of the things are me yes beka waka asem. But said ye me nua Brian Boabin kai no. We in the MPP, me a member of parliament.
Yeah.
Me sources of information sometimes apart from people who are not researchers. Obi fu trotro. Oshia wo baby a me kwa so no afro. Nana me fu ka. Kwan we so. Said you must deal with them. In some more feedback or the amount. A woman no be a oh, ye dawasi why ye kwa no mwaye ne ni nda so so mbe ye kwan no nipa eni agi wo ho feedback for me fit research ni we abe minim komo a yedi de bebe bia ye gino asopem na me de me bompa ni say ye benya the full report no be ma regions districts areas are na e was say uye ho adwuma yie na wo de aka wapom me wo ho no obi frɛ me na ka constituency bia me hwehwɛ nipa manage sa constituency no na wo de asɛm no akoma wo mpampi no utie radio stations bi wo ho a nkrofo bi nya comfortable so mbetie me nso e ho na metie pa yes metumi abo stations be 3 den won kran ha de bia me radio station eda ho. That's where you get your information. Me tie e ma hu se de nipa no edwen. Nti de bia me ka say without respect disrespect to maybe Oman FM and ade me ko hokoye program na ade me wie me de ko to ba bia obetie wo opponent no de omo dwen ade look this issue of say a chep to me to me share colleague for parliament or see me na ye de me ba ha. I'm telling you.
Oh boy.
I'm telling you.
Oh, Brakwame. Oh, be friend me beside me say.
Adia national chairman.
Where is like ofana. Only obi friend me beside me say. Hey, Prof, we dey Mr. Boame. A very senior man. Between mayor and a regional minister. Ofu say dey pa na.
Oh, chairman. Look, Me, but Master,
no slide in name one.
I am telling you. Now your colleagues, Wamuka, and Jimmy Anyamama said the national chairman of the party. Master Kwame, yeah, for a national chairman.
Ocho Agbena.
Yeah, of course. But you see, what they don't know, 4 or 5 months to elections, share the general outlook of the campaign is here, day after day. Me, I'm very happy. The extent to which Dr. Mahmoud Baumia afa campaign no. Niama yedi agwa akwemu constituency by constituency, region by region ekoso no. Osa kwa me. Yeti hey. Ene niama nkrofo boy asubo nyina no. Alternative ni pa no ene ni dey. MPP ni bi eni ho so ye complacent because until Bayer March most of Yayan Crawford and Gaza had given up. Your base no until March, April. Now Yayan Crawford Nubia had given up on the campaign 2024. And Jimmy spending more time to even psych people up. Say we could pick up the pieces together. Last week, me call Botiano. Eko ye house to house. Ewa places. Na udo Botiano I say a Juma wa ye as a member of parliament. Na ye ni nda so say MPP betumi ayesa adwuma no na mo maka we otumi ye maye. The reception I had there, because that is used to be one of the Waterloo of the party. Botiano. I tested the polls. MPP party had never won in Botiano before. Even the vote I had the last time was a surprise. I'm saying no. Kwame, since Botiano, there has never been a secondary school along the whole stretch. I made the promise. Say nyamiya maduma. Me pomo this secondary school beba Botiano.
Aba. School eh?
Botiano secondary school. New school. And yes, school ewo hodada and I convert. September there will be admission in that school in Botiano.
Mo there.
Enti nipa no could relate with the heartbeat. Nyamincha there. Botiano fish market. Procurement ewie. I also put in that project there. Then you talk about your record. Me dem can't me Crawford say I will defend my records in the last 3.5 years.
But as a person, how about the collective?
So remember, every area you defend your record. Agenda 111 they talked about it. My constituency, we are about 30% construction. It is going on. It's part of the record of the government. I was so defending record no baby awo. That no we call Ningo Pram. In fact, that is where I'm from. We call Ningo. Agenda 111 near completion. Amazing. Near completion. So for me, like he's saying, as a government in power, it is your record that you defend. Unfortunately for us, Master Kwame, we have over 500 radio stations in this country.
750.
750 operational. Yes,
it's
750.
Crazy.
Yes,
it's crazy.
Obifa oti trotromu na obi kasa ewo radio station. The challenge ewo nipa ni ho no na wafa. Nti le biasa na me ka chen krofo. Obifa complaint na or complaining wo baby. So nipa bebre they generalize the views. Don't they are making conclusion. That is fair. E ma wo hu baby a wugina say e wo say wo ye adwumaden. So now Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, we share the programs or regional to 16 regions. Now, me call tema. You ever started campaigning? Now, the whole thing was that Dr. Mahmoud Baumia nye Christoni, and it's sa enunqua and to me man in your campaign. Or call the 16 regional tour. Every regional he had opportunity to meet the clergy. In fact, in Tema, you chemu to Greater Accra. You share one group at Nat Hall and another group in Tema. One more mufi Adan Ningo from Tema. I know a lot of the pastors. Yeah. What's that Kwame? And then for so about a month or two, utie sa religious campaign is dead. It's gone. And Mami Ayeshemu say the man has risen to the occasion. We hear the 16 regional tour was starting constituency by constituency. He's going. He's been up north. Afe Nawaba. Ubian follow the campaign of these two presidential candidates. Me and I'm going to be doing come on. My greatest fear, I mean, this a national executive Juma at the parliamentary seat. Because we share bread in the 8th parliamentary seat. There were more candidates who are not incumbent vying for these elections. A pussy, a threat emaye. And I was saying, yeah, Juma more and a lot of legwork as parliamentary candidates. The records of MPP in each constituency, especially in Greater Accra, me constituency, what the two NDC one, we are miles away. But there was a to me church.
You mean miles ahead?
Yes, miles ahead. And was a to me church remo man nipano etias yes we na maye e seem to have me to me nyina because when master kwame the bomb is subo yakwan. Now so records are mikuta sisia no 3.5 years 40 kilometers of roads are under construction at different stages.
Oka kwan obisimi misa said Tuba Junction Kokrokoo Old Barrier Kwan. So we passed by there on Monday. It's in a deplorable state.
Very well. Very well. And the HSF maka ekwan nipa no okohoses ya wudu aplaku. Obehun say work is ongoing on that old barrier Kokrokoo road. Work is ongoing. Many uka say 1.2 kilometers of road from Tuba Junction because we hold me Mama Africa.
Say, baby, we're friend Mama Africa.
Yeah, Mama Africa.
That's right. Me and Mama Africa.
Mama Africa, yeah. I don't know. I go see Japan. Otiho. And onti eho quite no a problem. But master, who come swa? There were baby ana a worse than baby Angrofo body. Baby to say Ajasco to West Hills Mall.
Musumo ndio
Ajasco Junction to West Hills Mall. What's that? 6.5 kilometers. Na car end to me for home. And then yami adum ye yisa kwan no omu begu so adwuma na ikoso e wo so chirechire mu chire nkrofo me hia nkrofo a I tell them ya we ikoso ha enye we people see it no say okay mon kam ho na mon ye dem mon yire mo ho na mon ye. So for me I think that it's a research bar like Prof Kans is here enye nyama kuntan biom. Look and now you can say the NDC has not professed a single solution to the challenges of this economy. There's no solution. The only solution John Mahama has said to the unemployment situation in this country, publicly, as we've heard. And she said, Obi, what challenge of youth unemployment. Now, Bresso, then we had Youth Unemployment Graduate Association, and that's Oba no see Oba be ye situation or it tells you now what say alternative no is scary. And no na I was say a pushy argument no. And yes so be any researcher. I was so tie no asopemo. And ti wo mo amunu wo mo ho. Now they think the election is over. Omo chiche post no. Sabi. Yen to abano e no mo chiche post. Na wo na okoya demonstration. Ye di wo kono be say post no mo chiche no. O ma frɛ wa ma obi ana.
But ade ba kwa mo ntimi nchirechire mo be seen when the fundamentals are weak. The exchange rate will expose you.
It's a truism. The fundamentals now
CD dollar, CD pound, CD euro, and koyi kra.
Master Kwame.
Yeah.
Me jina hoye, da no me tu kwan me ba Addis Ababa. Ma me bi abranti bi be chia me no so me constituency MP ne. Ma me say master adwuma de maye bi. Na de ba ko na ekun ye. Exchange rate. Yemwa. Because I see obey tone niama obekobio. Benjamin Chadie for some time now there's some small stability, but Master Kwame, the fundamentals of our economy, the structure of our economy, is not the reserve of only one political party. Say no cry actually who say politicians. It goes a long way to affect the fundamentals of our economy. Now if the indicator, the single indicator of the economy, and about decided elections are, what is the solution of the NDC? They've held on to this same structure of this economy for many years. I'm why. So yending common can't borrowing to service or for infrastructure. Is it the same structure we want to go? No. Dr. Baumia proposes solutions to this problem. We should interrogate it. Yeah, interrogate it, sir. Over dollarization of our economy. One major problem. Work room. And Odu government bia tax revenue you call port near GGWay o import niama near benchmark it to the dollar. What is the solution for these leading political figures? Dr. Baumia had spoken. So today we will not peg our import taxation to the dollar again. Waka sa asem no. Waka taxation ewo krom ha. There will be tax amnesty, and then there will be a flat rate tax system ewo krom ha. These are proposals or the base ebeboa the economy. We talk of industrialization. We produce more than we import. Because the essence of all this is when the demand for foreign goods and services is more than the supply side. Obviously, there will be problem. And what are these two leaders saying? Baku say digitalization, industrialization, tax reforms. Baku so say nkukon kiti. And this is what THD. Now we tie nipa mienu ya. And why na wo ka wo tie na asem no wafa. Say wo die na problem ni pe a decision for your future. You get it wrong. Leadership is key because obi any ho ene o predicament awom, o situation awom no, o be take a decision for the rest of your life. It's not possible.
Mate.
Enunti ena me say
because you say take me asa. Mitie.
Ya be koso akansem no a chirechire mu wo ye MPP ni baby awo bia no adwumadin leadership eye no for ahokom hwe project akoso wo mpeso aso. Amasa kwa me. An open here conversation be say enkwala wo first year to fourth year e university are all beneficiaries of free SHS. At least 80% of them are most schools says here. We beneficiaries of free SHS. Data we can quantify and know how much disposable income families of these children had saved for 3 years and Kolano Echo SHS Hukruma. There is a policy among more people had enrolled in schools. Future benefit for your country. And the obi policies ya ba ene. Now or assure say ye be way akahono. What it means is that your future is better. But say the nyina ba begina sebi exchange rate pay, which is very important also. Doesn't mean say the rest of your life that is what it will be. But even nipa no your alternative no krano, he has not spoken about how the ills of this exchange rate and the economy no krano obetumi solve no. Anything you see, the alternative is extremely scary. So people should not be itching to get power because obviously 8 years now. Who do 8 years? I was saying we do 8 years. As if say you diagro. But the real work in the wahona, you interrogating issues. No, he hasn't come. So many years of battle, and then NDC is claiming so one of the free SHS buy.
Oh, it's been debunked.
And Ghana for tia, who share a car when you boy to fight a policy. Meaning say. One district, one factory. Even though with its own problems, no, Yabekwa could do baby say. Who say it is a way for us to refine it, push more resources into it. Because Nipa it took China. We can even fix them here in this country. It can only be done through cottage industries. And
Slime amena si anope. Obisimen kancho say we jumanemum or see contractor no Botiano Hills drainage construction no. Say offer signage any caution tape and to baby omotutu amana ne ade no because a very dangerous bar into radio say opacho. But on a light note obi se wonkwan area o mama Africa o sanso ajasko na osro say how about Muguyaro
no fulani
o say ohia Muguyaro I think Omaji time ni nyina. But can you beat me
just quickly. Lady can media they be American who's the ana research there. Wa on for research in you dey na say
I think man some pacho.
Me say media they be American say wa won ji research ndi. Na say wan ka say won nim ne wo ye. Nti found research and whoever is doing the research or the bar what you mostly can disagree with is maybe the data collection or the same methodology, no, and you can proceed to probably challenge the outcomes. But more research good because research the and as researchers, chairman, there are times if you are doing quantitative research, estimation of parameters. Now maybe wide, and there are some outcomes via a priori. Now if you expect to say the signage is going to be maybe minus. Now run a regression you are not positive. I feel you what I say now because interpretation will make in my case economic sense. And sometimes it's also go back to data. No, every data now we use here, no, probably there was a problem. And now the methodology you used, no, na a problem. And these are the things that a researcher you can question. But outcomes in India, research in that form, German. Sometimes data collection cry and easy to clean it and sana proceeding to do the analysis and therefore nani pani you are would say because you know. And there are times, Mikai, I did some research on you know, debt and economic growth, and my focus was on hippie countries. Now I was expecting say so there's theory different threshold theory when it comes to debt and the thresholds of debt. Say a true level debt there and a cabo and yaboni, but a true level na a bedani or how. Until I was trying to test that theory on some countries. Now me expect to say, oh, debt forgiveness in Nasi4 should at least have some improvement in that. But it turned out that was idea na me expect it. But it turned out say you go Jesus again gram why. Even though you had debt forgiveness, but the effect was temporary. After a certain while, no, it began, you know, because it's near a year when you say you become comfortable. Say me boka cry already. There is a debt forgiveness package. I can always go back. Until uji sa debt forgiveness now. Unya respite temporarily. Then your economy can grow. After a while, they go back to the normal year na almost go back to square zero and square one. Until media research the boy and yet the beer you were expecting na wunya. So when the data speaks, like your preconceived ideas in there, it has a need space cry. Let the data speak. Until data na kasa, me a politician who is running, I'd rather listen to what the data has said. Nanka media to me hopeful. Say okay, say ni say na yeka. Dear na meet me here to correct the gaps so that going forward, no, another researcher conduct here, maybe the outcome will be different. And nuna say politicians, elsewhere they pay for these things, so
of course
they pay a lot of money to do these things. Now when you provide and one you be as
I think Obi Bisam say when is my next one come. Unfortunately,
it's very expensive.
Prepare you can see na.
I mean, ordinarily this should be idea political parties would contract you to do consultancy on and so on. And to media research the Emfanye Juma na idea manage home, and this one goes without saying say Ghana and democracy no as a year consolidating answer as say Ghanaians about 80%, 86% of us say we exercise our choices in freedom and are freely. Until idea ebwa. Now the campaigns Sly Eka Assembly say nukre say eba your economy and yesika sem tutu. That statement Ora Dr. Bome make is a true and a factual economic statement to make. As to whether we made this one or this is another matter. But it's a fact that when your economy is not in good health, you can tell by looking at the exchange rate. Because we share exchange rate determination, there are a lot of variables your economic growth, your interest rates, your inflation, and the rest of them. And in some cases, even there is a method that uses your balance of payment, so your current account and the rest of them. You use all of that when you are determining your exchange rate. Until say when you know variables are the health of your economy, you can just look at the exchange rate to tell whether a koyi and as a koyi. Until that statement is true.
Okay.
It's for them to now defend whether omutimi edisu and as omundisu, and that's the conversation we are going to be having in the coming days. As for the issue of policy, we need to have that conversation, about which policy can transform our economy. Chairman, every election year, politicians can, we need to transform the economy. What are the practical steps we are taking to ensure that we do economic transformation? Economic transformation now, it is simply how much of your labor are in a particular sector. So, young can say, agric used to be Ghana's mainstay. Until from agric, you move to manufacturing and then to services. Until you cut transformation now, we are looking at how many of our people are working in manufacturing compared to agriculture and now in services. What is here?
Yeah.
Now say see I can say chairman. Yen him say manufacturing. And say Sagana, you can say economy no. But we still are not having a lot of plants and factories to do the kind of manufacturing that say yet to transform your economy. Until we should be looking forward to policies are any practical steps, Beba, to ensure say we move from you can say agri being a mainstay to manufacturing teacher and sana services. But say services ideally should be the last point. But say and known as is Ghana's mainstay. But manufacturing gets missing along the line. That is where the focus is. So the policies of these countries should be to make sure that manufacturing then becomes the bigger contributor to our GDP. Ufa real sector now, you would expect the economy transforming. The focus on our manufacturing should be a greater contributor to our GDP. But for the most part, it used to be you can say agri. Now services have taken over. Manufacturing keeps lagging, and that is where the focus should be. Now, final chairman, where the is a public interest issue.
Yeah.
One was saying issues about lands are man who should be.
Yeah.
Issues about state lands. You know, they are referring to it as state capture. But me, I don't think robbing or stealing state lands alone amounts to state capture. But state capture, the chairman, is a huge construct too. You get to the point where you can see they are engaged in state capture. But nonetheless, they are the bonnie. Let's see, baby, I could do Pomponso, I could do ni say. Chairman, okay, Nigerian High Commission demolition be a cause who it created diplomatic ripples.
Make
Chairman, Sasas, you know, abide the demand Nigerian High Commission. After we changed different locations for them over the years, finally, I can say the honum no be more. And almost starting construction. And a papa B, LED group B, Emma Omukoye demolition. And there are letters from the lawyers of Nkrofo to indicate, say, Sani Pano LED is a demonstration to make me abonedin. Nedin the Duke Asian. Omukoye demonstration no call osu stool ho, Eko Kacho Mose. Omum protecting na they should own up to the demolition. And there are letters from the lawyers of individuals Amike. Say omunjintum som nom koye demolition no. Na then they can protect him and that the Osu should take responsibility. And Nkrofo Edi Omenimbae and so on. So the idea was for government to compensate the Osu.
And Uncle Banasa.
Chairman, compensation the abentuayo and abentuya sikakuma. Nipaya onye is not the owner of the land. Onye stool chief, onye bibia. Ekoye negotiations ama abentuya sika 45 million Ghana cedis. Chairman tieni you. And there is a company called Glyco Healthcare. Omusu eji sikane mu 15 million. Sa dukesi enso akoji 15 million every sikemu. And the question I'm asking myself, abai negotiations be nkra na abeye to engage in the Nkrofo a assassinating your modia. At the end of the day, you agree to pay 45 million Ghana cedis. Chema assassin ya abai assassin. Yentien you abai assassin. Then you go and abandon their mobi. Because there's no way the Lands Commission would get up and say the assassin mobi abra enya abandia. Na abandia ma nipano you claim say mumwa ko ye title registration and if you even look at the documents they produce there are discrepancies between the time of lease and the time of the certificate. Abaya assassin mumwa for mu kwanso akoye munuema ma akoye demolition asema aba you see abayani stool no ending komo at the end of the day mu amkoye demolition ni sa nyuma yi mu na mu akoji abansika on abaya assassin.
There is something in the soup.
Chairman, me and I'm asking I didn't cry na koso o man.
There is something in the soup.
Abai acquired it. It was acquired by the Republic of Ghana. Westridge. Abai Manglo Nene Sisu.
I think we'll be back.
I heard you, but this is an issue.
You can't think far.
But it's an issue we need to pursue. Especially Sikana Abai Sako FH Sako Chia.
Hey, yes, so Chia Humana Sema,
Bibizim, and
go to check up.
And it is something we should be pursuing in the coming days.
Mate, we'll pursue it. Prof, that's enough. And I'll pay 1 second.
Okay. So I'm ready. The division next week. Now I can employment, unemployment. Yeah. Propaganda be say unemployment rate is at 14.
Who did that?
It be any response. Propaganda is allowed. Response na Mbappe. Then the challenge exists. Make crowd maintain no. I'm able to estimate 9.1 unemployment rate. Where from the 14?
And where are those who are supposed to respond?
When the data is available and you can estimate.
For a very long time, we had no labor statistics in this country.
Yes.
Unemployment rate, now you're keke.
Yes.
And I'm saying, Statistical Service decided to create a unit for it. And Emmy said, the rate at which labor,
it's true.
Have a good weekend.
But a serious issue near the diagram. National security issue near
very much so. The issue of employment is always a national security issue. But this one says, Kempon of Kempon Travel and Tours, Ochina Mum Ena Wodanyene. Okay, make I say Ochina. So to you, Kempon of Kempon Travel and Tours, happy birthday to you tomorrow. But Azuma Nelson, our own celebrated Azuma Nelson, is 66 years old today. Azuma is 66 years old today, and we wish him God's blessings. And congratulations to you, Mr. Samuel Basintale Amadou, on your promotion to DCI, Deputy Commissioner of Immigration. Nanso Akwe Hadrin Bugatti. Kofi Kumbilson is next on your radio. The next news broadcast is at 12. We're dialing up the weekend nicely. Nyamiya Duma Joade Besamba Betwa Jimedino so. May your day be blessed, may your weekend be good. Remember to keep your dreams and hopes alive as always. Yes, my prayer for you, my dear listener, is always there in the book of Numbers in the Bible. Numbers 6:24-26. And hey, when you stop to say a prayer, remember to say one for me too. God bless. Good morning.